Hello and welcome to another new episode of Learning Simplified. In this part of Inkscape tutorial for beginners, we are going to redirect ourselves into a more precise direction. We will be knowing about some basic information on freehand tool and something like this Bezier tool. But the most important thing is that we are going to learn in this tutorial is about the difference between an object and a shape. What is the basic difference between an object and a path? So this is what we are going to discuss in this tutorial in a broader sense. So I'd like to ask you to watch the video till the end and definitely do not forget to subscribe us. Okay, now let's start. First of all, this is the canvas that we have created in Inkscape documents so far. This is an empty canvas here. In the first case, all we are going to do, if we look around into this extreme left panel, tools panel to be precise, we can see that there goes the freehand line tool. So if we click on it, and now if we click again and hold our mouse and draw any shape on our canvas, we can see that practically it turns into a path. So we have created a shape here. A shape is been created which consists of many paths here, and this is the result from a freehand form tool that we have used. Now the next thing that goes here, we are going to create an object here which is known as rectangle. So we have created two elements so far into our document. The first one is we have drawn a particular shape which consists of many paths into our document, and the second thing is this is a definite object here, and this is the rectangle. So these are the two Inkscape documents. Now in the next case, first of all, we are choosing this shape here that we have drawn, and we can do near about anything into it. Like we may change this definite fill color property right over here by clicking over this bottom palette. And not only that, we may change this individual stroke color by holding down the shift key button and then pressing on the color that we wish our stroke color to change into. Like if we change it into a brown one, we can see that this is the brown stroke color here. And if we choose something like green, then we can see that this is the green color, the green stroke color which is been applied to this individual shape. Now the point is, what is the difference between this rectangle and this individual shape that we have created by using this freehand tool? First of all, whenever we click on this, if we have a double click on this object, we can see that there are 4 points, and this is the border radius option here. We can provide any kind of border radius option, but we can see that all those nodes can't be moved around. It actually always sticks to the definite part where it is been originated. Can we see it? We cannot move this node to anywhere here. And the same thing goes for here. And this individual node, it practically controls the border radius of this individual rectangle here. So the point is, we cannot move these nodes from its place. But if we head back to this individual shape here, and if we now double click on them, we can see that this consists of these several nodes which are movable. That means we may change the position of all these nodes, and therefore we may change the shape that we have created. We are practically able to transform this shape into any altered one as we wish. We may reshape this thing into any proper way, and this is the handler, and we can see that we are practically able to change the shape into something different one. So why so difference here? We can play around with all those nodes. We can relocate them into some different positions, and we may change the overall shape of this individual element here, as we can see. But this same exact thing cannot be done here. This is due to the fact that Inkscape in general practically uses a definite mathematical calculation in an order to represent the object into the document. For say all those nodes here, those nodes are practically predefined. You can see that you are practically able to change the dimension like this one, the dimension which changes along the x-axis and y-axis, both of them. Similar thing happens here. We are practically able to change this x-axis and y-axis position right over here, and we may change this border radius property from here, but in actuality we cannot change the position of these nodes. We cannot relocate these nodes. You will see that in case of a circle, same exact thing happens here. If we double click on this individual circle, and we can see that we are practically able to change the dimension along the x-axis. We may change the width, we may change the height, we may change this arc position right over here, but we are practically not able to move these nodes from here. So all these nodes, those are practically defined to represent a definite object. If we head back to this star, this polygon here actually, so if we draw a polygon, we can see that the same exact thing can be said here. We can change the shape like this one. We may manipulate its position, but we cannot practically relocate this node into somewhere else and change the position abruptly as we did this individual shape. So this is what is the basic difference between an object and a path. A path, it practically consists of multiple nodes and lines into it, curving into a definite shape, and those are definitely not predefined into your Inkscape document. But on the other hand, an object, all of its nodes are definitely defined in your Inkscape document, such that the manipulation can never be done on it unless we make some other provision. Like for say, if we wish to change this rectangle, to change this object here actually into a definite path, then all we need to do, head back to this top file tools panel here, and we can see that this is the path, and there goes this object to path. And now if we double click on it, we can see that all those nodes, the point is here, it is very important and catchy. We are practically missing something. We have to negotiate ourselves with something else. We will be missing to impose any kind of border radius property into this individual shape, because this object here right now has turned into a path or into a non-defined element right over here. So we can see that all those four corner nodes, those nodes are practically now possible to move around and to create a different kind of shape from the similar object that we have created earlier. This was practically a rectangle, but right now it is acting as if a path. And not only that, if we wish, we may add some extra nodes into it. Whenever this hand appears, all we need to do, we need to double click on the part where we wish to add a new node, and we can see that a new node has been added to here. Let me zoom in. This is the node, and we can manipulate all those shapes right over here. We may further add some definite nodes here, and we can see that we are practically right now manipulating the shape of a definite object that we had created earlier. Same thing goes for this star. Let's select it first. There it goes. And now if we head back to this object, this path, this is the object to path option. If we click on it, and now if we choose this edit paths by nodes option from here, there goes all those nodes from where we may individually change each and every parts of this star that we had created earlier, of this object that we had created earlier. So we may make this little star a little bit of pointy, or we may make this change right over here or we may add some definite points on it, and we may change it from here like this one, add something else right over here, add something else over here, add another node here. So we can see that we are practically able to modify our star element, our star object here, and we may change the shape into anything we want, into something different. So here it goes. Now let's have a try onto something different. Like if we use this pen tool here, what will happen? So this is the pen tool right over here, and now we may click here. We'll be defining all about this pen tool in some later tutorial. Now we have created another shape with this pen tool, as we can see, and we are pretty much able to impose any kind of color into it. As we can see that we can change all those color, fill color property right over here. We may use some different stroke color, and we may impose a different stroke width, and here comes the result. So if we now edit paths by nodes, we can see that all those points are being created right into this element, and we may change the shape something like this one. We may reorder those nodes into something different, into some different path. There it goes. We have added a different node here. Here it goes. And if we wish to remove this node, we have to select that individual node, and we need to press this delete button, and we can see that the node is practically gone. So all those elements here, those been created by creating an individual path with the aid of some nodes and some lines into it. So all those things are practically termed as path. We are practically creating a path, and we may reshape it anything, anywhere we want. On the other hand, this is an object. All the nodes of the position, the mathematical calculation of these nodes are practically predefined into Inkscape documents, so that we cannot really change, we cannot really reshape this individual rectangle that we have drawn into our document. This is it up to this far. In the next tutorial, we will be talking all about the pen tool as we had created, as we had seen right over here. Hit enter, and this is the path that we can create from here. So we'll be detailing all about this pen tool in our next tutorial. If you guys have liked this tutorial, then do not hesitate to hit that red subscribe button down below. Hope to see you guys in our next tutorial. Till then, bye.